So it's the morning after, and with a new pair of EL84s, this amp no longer hums after it's been on about 30-40 minutes. So that's nice. It's got a test pair of good EL84s and it'll get its own pair to go home with. As you can see here on the JJs it came with, one of the spots on the plate was beginning to discolor. Just one. Which means that if I let that amp run and run and run, that would have gotten worse. One tube would have drawn more and more current, eventually cherry plating, and you would have heard a massive, massive hum in the output. Maybe that's what the owner got. But no hum now after about an hour with the new tubes. The operating conditions inside the amp for the EL84s are pretty much ideal. With 120 volts coming out of the wall, they're right at 13.75% idle dissipation, which is just perfect for an ACXX inspired amp. This is essentially one top boost channel alone of a 15-watt version of an AC30. You can also see that I stole a page from Lupe and the gals back in the Tweed Fender days and put some red acrylic on the caps nuts and screws which hold those isolated tube socket mounts to the chassis. So no more caps nuts will go floating around inside the amp, shorting out things here and bridging things there. I'm not sure why Matchless insists on doing everything so more difficult than they need to do, and then they don't do that little bit of help to the hardware that Fender was doing in the 50s. If you're going to use the isolation grommets, go ahead and use a little bit of paint or some other substance that will keep that nut from vibrating loose. The only other thing I've done is I've bent the lamp holders around a little bit so that the lamps won't be contacting the wood top of the chassis, the top surface, just to keep pressure off the bulb. People always ask what these bulbs are in Matchresses. They illuminate the front panel when it's all put together. You'll see that in the last video, where you'll also get to hear this. So new tubes on order and onwards and upwards.